media today to try and book some calls. You'll see just down below there should be a QR code. I want to speak to electricians who are using Revit. So that is why I'm here. So if you're an electrician and you use Revit, I want to speak to you. So electrical draftsman using Revit. So I'm just going to keep saying that. If you use Revit and you're doing electrical drawings, I would like to speak to you. So please, please, please book a call using the calendar link below. So I am sitting, charging my van. The camera angle makes my body look much too big for my head, or my head look too small for my body. But it is what it is. So if you draw electrical drawings for building services projects and you're using Revit, I would like to speak to you. This isn't like recruitment or anything like that. I just want to know how you do things. I have spoke to just general coordinators and spoke to them about how they're drawing cable tray and things like that. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who are doing like cable schedules and things like that. So it is a bit niche. So I haven't really had many people come forward and say that that's what they do. But they must be out there. But you'll see the picture that I've used below is a unicorn holding some drawings. But I think they exist. I think there are electrical people out there. And all I want to do is just have a little chat and see what you're doing, what you're putting on your drawings. Reason being, I'm trying to compare the UK and the US. I've got an idea of what the US are doing. I just want to compare it. I come from a duct background, so I don't know for definite off the top of my head what electrical people are putting on their drawings. So I'd just like someone from the industry to have a little chat with me for 20 minutes. I just want to see what tools you're using. I know you're using Revit. Are you using Revit? I'm assuming if you're using Revit, I'd like to speak to you. If you're not using Revit, I'd still like to speak to you just to see what's going on in your drawings. But I reckon there are people using Revit, but I'd like to see, are they using particular add-ons? Are they just using Revit straight out of the box? So I'm charging my van. I need to book some calls. So what better way to spend the time than just do a live stream and see if I can get just one person to book a call. And we can talk all about Revit and buttons and workflows and things like that. So just to remind you, if you are a Revit user and you do electrical drawings, I would like to speak to you. There's a link below where you can click on that and it takes you to a Google Calendar. Pick a time of your convenience. It'll be a 20-minute conversation. Nothing, you don't even have to have your camera on. Don't have to share your screen. Just have a little chat with me. I would like to record the conversation because I'd like to report back to my superiors with what I've found. But I did this last year, but for mechanical and duct work and pipe work and things like that, and that went really well. Lots of people came forward to talk, but the electricians seem to be a little bit elusive. But it might be because I come from a ducting background, so I know more people in that industry, whereas electrical, I don't really know anyone. So if you are an electrical draftsman and you would like to have a short conversation with me. Tell me what you put on your drawings, whether you're doing cable scheduling, or anything like that. How does it go from a design to an installation drawing? Someone must be putting some complex information. It can't just be cable tray modeling to make sure, like for clash detection. I believe there must be more detailed drawings than that, and that's what I like to know. So cable scheduling, are you using conduit? Is there times where you'd use conduit more than you'd use cable tray and basket? These are all things that someone from an electrical background, even if you don't do the drawings, but you look at the drawings every day, that would be enough. I just want someone who's familiar with drawings, electrical drawings in the UK, who can book a call and have a little conversation with me. Or if you know where I can go to ask, who should I be asking? There's a City Electrical Factors down the road. Maybe I should put a little advert in there. I will buy you coffee if you have a conversation with me. I will buy you breakfast if you have a conversation with me. So if you use Revit and you do electrical drawings, I would like to speak to you. I'd like to see what you're putting on your drawings. I'd like to see where the US and the UK kind of differ in the information that is required. So let's see, have we got, put that on there. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. What does that say? So you can see a QR code at the bottom of the screen. So if you are an electrical draftsman, you're using Revit, or you're just familiar with construction drawings on the electrical side, I would really, really like to speak to someone. So click the link and just book a call just to have a little 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute conversation. I just want to see kind of what information you're putting on your drawings. Yeah, that's it really. I want to see what tools you're using to create those drawings. Yes, you might use Revit, but do you use any add-ons? Are there particular symbols that you like to see, or is that kind of company specific? Are you using Revit families, or are you using ITMs? I just want to know all about it. So talk to me, bore me with your electrical drawing talk. So I'm going to sit on here until I get one. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say that because I might be on here for ages, but I've got another 5 minutes until my van's charged, and then I'm going to call it a day. But that is why I'm here. I am trying to book some people to talk to me about electrical drawings on Revit. So if you are a draftsman who produces electrical drawings, if you're an electrical contractor who's used to looking at these drawings and you're just familiar with what goes on them, that is equally valuable. Because I'd like to know, are people using a drawing program to do like the detailed kind of planning, like the scheduling, or are you using like Excel? Is there a consultant somewhere who's just using Excel, giving that to a draftsman and then saying, I need cable tray this wide running along this route. can you just draw that in for me? I want to know exactly how detailed it goes. Is it just a basic coordinator kind of just chucking in some tray and some conduit just to allow for the space to be taken up? Or is there more to it? That is what I'd like to know. So if you are an electrical draftsman or you are an electrical contractor and you are just used to looking at drawings, electrical drawings in the UK, I would like to speak to someone who is familiar with electrical drawings in the UK. I'd like to know what information is going on these drawings, what tools are being used to produce the drawings. Are you using conduit? Is it basket, cable tray? Yeah, that's what I want to know. So I must admit, it has been quite tricky to track down electrical draftsmen. Either they're very shy or they've just got no particular interest to speak to me, which is fair enough. But I did have quite a good result with the ducting and the pipework people. So I was hoping to replicate that kind of success. But hey ho. So it is Revit electrical draftsman from the UK that I'd like to speak to. And I want to know what's going on your drawings. I want to know what tools you're using to produce those drawings. And really, that's about it. Just talk to me about drawings. Shall we ask ChatGPT? So I'm on a live stream, so please no swearing. And I'd like to know, I'd like to speak to people about electrical Revit drawings from the UK. I want to find out exactly what they're putting on their drawings, what tools they're using to produce their drawings, and any standards and things like that that I should be aware of. Have you got anything to add?
You might also want to ask how they handle wiring schedules, how they coordinate with other trades, and if they use any specific UK regulations or compliance standards. That way you get a fuller picture of their workflow and what might differ across firms.
Okay, what else should I say? You are live, you are speaking to the nation.
I'd say be transparent about your intent. Let them know you're genuinely interested in learning from their experience and that their insights will help shape better tools or workflows. You could also reassure them that you're offering a brief, no strings conversation, and perhaps let them know how they can reach out or book a call after the stream.
Well, there is a QR code at the bottom of the stream that directs them to a Google Calendar link where they can book a convenient time at their leisure.
Perfect. Just remind them on air to scan that QR code if they're interested in continuing the conversation one-on-one. Reinforce that their experience could be invaluable and that you're looking forward to hearing their real-world workflow insights.
And is it just the UK that I'm interested in?
Since you've specified UK electrical workflows, I'd stick to that. You could clarify you're focusing on the UK. If you ever decide to expand, you can always let them know on the
Okay.
UK context.
Thank you very much. So I think ChatGPT was jibbing out a little bit there, but you get the gist of it. So I am looking to speak to UK Revit draftsmen who are familiar with electrical drawings. I want to know what you're putting on your drawings, and I'd like to know what tools you're using to produce your drawings, whether they be Revit add-ons, whether you've developed your own tools. Is there anything that's slowing you down? Is there anything you wish could be automated? Is there anything tedious about the work you do? Sometimes it's nice to speak to other people, and there might already be an existing solution. So that's all. I want to speak to electrical Revit draftsmen. I want to see what's going on in your drawings. I want to see what tools you're using. I want to see what issues you faced producing those drawings. What's the tedious, mundane, time-consuming part of it? What would you like to see done quicker if it could be done quicker? Other than that, I'm just charging my van. So just waiting here, charging my van. I'm in Malden, in Essex. I can see a Shoe Zone, Sports Direct, Pure Gym, Next, Home Bargains, Aldi. I think that's it. Oh, there's a Greggs and a Travel Lodge. But yeah, so haven't had anyone book just yet. But if you are an electrical draftsman, you're doing projects in the UK, things like data centers, hospitals, anything really. So any electrical projects and you're using Revit, I want to know exactly how you're producing your drawings, what kind of information you're putting on there. And if you've got any issues, any things that you'd like to speed up, any pain points, anything that people normally moan about. Is Revit good at doing some things and terrible at doing others? I know, speaking personally from my experience in the ductwork industry, the tools you get within Revit are not brilliant. So I use the fabrication tool, fabrication ITMs. That's probably the best thing to do, but the detailing on them is shocking. Revit out of the box isn't very good for detailing, so you either have to make your own tools or buy third party that have put a lot of time and energy into making tools for you. So is that the same case for electrical? Have you got a go-to package that's got everything on it that you need as a UK draftsman? Do you have to develop your own tools? Is there things in the detailing part of it that slow you down? Do you use Excel sheets for your wire schedules and just import them in. I don't know. I don't really know a lot about electrics, so that's why I'm hoping to speak to someone from that side who can answer all my questions. So if you are an electrical draftsman, you're working on projects in the UK, and you would like to spare 20 minutes just talking to me about drawings, I would be forever in your debt. I would appreciate it very, very much. So if I go on my Google Calendar, I don't have anything planned. So I think with that, I think I'm finished now. I think my van's charged. So thank you very much if you've stayed at all and listened. But I am going to drive my van home. Thank you very much.